Guys, we've got a cool kick stream coming up here. So kick talk rather. Episode 21. Episode 21. Got JaredFPS joining in. Andrew, I'll let you kick it off.
Yeah, man. JaredFPS, he's a FaZe partner, first of all. But even before that, man, he was a Mixer partner. He was a Twitch partner. He's got an amazing following on YouTube. The guy was with XSET as a content creator. He's got a really solid community. I know he does a lot of business with Stake also, but he is definitely one of those guys that we brought on during the phases that has helped us out along the way with a lot of tough love. Whether it is like, this is how the community is feeling, or this is how shit could be better. The other thing is that the reason why I wanted to bring him on for this episode is that as Kick continues to mature, Jared was alongside Mixer as it matured. And Mixer lasted for, I guess, about 4 years. But, guys like Jared who were partners on Mixer who brought over like 440,000. The guy had 440,000 followers once they yanked the plug on Mixer. So that's something insane to pull out from under a creator. So this guy's been battle tested. I think he's got a lot of important things to say. And I think it's important that we hear him out because he's been hosed a lot, but he always bounces back. Like, the guy's following on YouTube is stellar. If the guy ever wanted to fire up on Twitch again, he could easily bring his community over there. He's just got a community that sticks, man. So he really wanted to come on Kick Talk and just ask some questions from like a deeper level as he saw it like unfold on Mixer. Now, by no means are we Mixer, but there's always things that we can learn from. There's always shit that we can hear people out on and just get to know. And I know you're no stranger to Jared. I know he's on your Stake streams every now and then.
I know Jared pretty well. Yeah. No, Jared and me, we talk pretty regularly. But I hope he doesn't hold back. I think, as always, Kick Talk's about open, honest discussions. Like, hey, look, what the hell's happening with this platform? What are we doing? What are we making good? So, looking forward to hearing Jared's honest and open feedback. Jared, how you doing? Oh,
Jared.
There we go.
He's coming up.
Hello. I'm here. Good evening.
What's up, Jared? Hey, how do you decide which pair of glasses you're gonna wear, man?
I got like 7 of them. So I just pick every day.
Well, where did the glasses originate from? What was the idea behind them? It's just become like it's become a bit of a sort of a brand of yours, almost part of your brand.
I actually wore them. Here's some insight. A long time ago, one of my eyes like kind of closes more than the other one. And so when I was on stream, it made me like nervous. So I saw these glasses a Call of Duty pro was wearing, and I was like, those look kind of cool. And then I bought them at Best Buy. This was like 2015. And then it just kind of became a thing.
Hey, Jared, just
quickly,
your microphone is just, I think you might be on the wrong input on Discord, maybe.
No.
Yeah, you kind of fade in and fade
out.
out.
Now?
There we go. That's way better. We got you now.
Yeah. Sorry. Brand new streamer, man.
Yeah, man, you're just new to this stuff. Don't know how to get your microphone working. Hey, Jared, I got some real quick questions for you. And then, hey, look, I think from what I understand, you've been collecting a few from your community, a few things you want to sort of sing our way. So how about I hand you a few and then hand the floor over to you. But Thanksgiving just passed. What did you get up to? What happened?
Ate a lot of food. Hold on.
Hey, as an Australian, I'm still trying to figure out, like, this Thanksgiving is like, it's like a big deal over in the US, right? It's like, is it like, it's up there with like Christmas almost, right? Or like in terms of like,
back to back.
It's like a huge deal. Like now that I'm like more plugged in on social media with like a lot of like North American people, like you realize like shit, this is a big deal.
That's a lot of food. I mean, you got to get all the family together, and then a month later, you have to do it all again for Christmas. It's back to back.
Hey,
and then eat again.
How did you inherit? Because a few people mention this. I hear it every now and again, and you kind of like, you've sort of taken this title on yourself as well. But, what does it mean to be the quote unquote dad of Kick, Jared?
I don't know. I mean, I've had kids like since I was 20, and now I'm 31. So like when I was on Mixer, I felt like I was the dad of Mixer at the time. That was my like thing. Because back then, Fortnite was huge. I mean, it's huge now, but it was blowing up then. So most of my viewers were like kids. It's kind of crazy because some of those kids will find me on Kick and they're like 20 years old now. And I'm like, I would watch them grow up like that. It's crazy.
Hey, that's awesome.
So I just kind of brought that to Kick, the same thing.
Hey, just quick, your microphone as well is just like, it's struggling a little bit. Not sure what's going on there. Maybe it's the input or...
Shit. Hold on. It's because of how I'm looking at Discord. Is that better?
That's
right
way
there?
better. Now we're good. Yeah, I was just kind of
my bad. I'm sorry. It's only Discord that does this.
Jared, we got to get it good for the clips, man. We got to get, can't be.
I'm turning this all the way off, the sensitivity thing. How's that sound?
I think we're good. If it cuts out again, I'll give you a heads up. But Andrew's mentioning before you came to the channel, right? Like you have obviously been streaming since like 2015. You've been on Mixer, you've been on Twitch, you're now on Kick, right? You're no stranger to kind of like moving things up, right? Which says a lot, I reckon. It says a lot. I think a lot of people, when you can become sort of agnostic to the platform, that is a true sign that you built a pretty epic community, right? You built something pretty strong because at that point, people aren't coming to the website. They're coming for you, truly for you, which is awesome. Despite all this chopping and changing and moving around, you've managed to stay on top and managed to keep everything together. How do you kind of do things differently in order to kind of cultivate that community that obviously, sticks with you no matter what you choose to do?
Talking to them. Like, make sure it's a community, not just like some streamer you watch, I think people are saying the stream is lagging. Is that on you? Is that your internet, Eddie?
That probably is me. Is it lagging real bad or? If it's lagging real bad, I know how to fix it, but it'll make me go offline for a second.
I don't know if they're trolling or not. Are y'all trolling? No, Oogie's not trolling.
Oh wait, you mean it's like Discord lagging?
No, for the stream itself, not Discord.
Either lagging or slagging. Okay, it's lagging. It's messed up. Okay, yeah, guys, I'm just gonna quickly do something. I might turn me offline for 1 second. Just bear with me. If I go offline, we're good. Can you see me?
Yep, you're live. Yeah.
Fuck, that was painful. That was horrible. What happened there?
Yes.
I'm sorry, guys. Rookie mistakes there. We're back again here with Kick Talk episode 21. I think the VOD's gonna be broken now, so we missed all the intros and everything. We had a few false alarms here. Guys, we've got JaredFPS with us here for Kick Talk episode 21. Apologies for the slight mistakes there. If you were hanging around for the last 15 minutes waiting for us to come back, my bad there. I'll take all the blame. I don't know what I did there. For some reason, my Streamlabs thought my internet was off. Restarted my internet, and I'm good to go. Jared, we were just talking before we cut off there, right? We're talking a bit about, the fact that you've moved between Mixer to Twitch to Kick, been all over the place. You had 440,000 followers on Mixer. Now you're here and the kind of secret sauce to having a community that follows you wherever you go. I'll let you restart.
Well, I was on Twitch. And then in 2017, I saw a random tweet that said Microsoft bought a streaming platform. And I was like, that's kind of big. Let me check that out. And I went there and I never looked back. It was 4 years of that. Then Mixer obviously closed down, and I went to Twitch again, and then I signed with XSET as a content creator. And then I got an offer from Facebook, so I actually went to Facebook to be a partner for 9 months as well. And then that ended because Facebook's terrible, but later on went to Twitch again, and then they banned gambling. And then I heard Expose talking one night about, don't worry, there's some new site coming. And then Train started talking about it, and that was kicked. And here we are. It's been a long back and forth journey, like restarting from zero every time.
I guess what? It's almost relatively exciting each time you kind of start fresh, right?
Is this going to be the career ender? I don't know.
Yeah.
Somehow I'm still here.
But I guess what? You had 440,000 followers on Mixer, right?
Yeah.
When that shut down, what was that like? What was the kind of experience there?
It was sickening, man. My wife actually woke me up and was like, you need to check Twitter, because obviously Mixer closed down over a tweet. They didn't tell anybody.
They didn't tell anybody
other than Ninja.
They only told Ninja, and all you guys found out through a tweet. That's why
I was sick, dude. The most sickening day of my life. But I immediately called my agent and was like, dude, what are we gonna do? What are we doing here? Because it's the timing of it was crazy for me personally, because I was actually in talks with Mixer to get a better streaming deal. Because to be transparent, I was getting paid $2,000 a month for a year before that, and that was like my re-sign date coming up, and I felt like I was worth a lot to Mixer, and so we were like hyping this talk up, and then they closed down.
Hey, Jared, real quick, chat's saying your mic is going in and out. It's just kind of got like...
I'm just going to hold it. Is that better?
Yeah, it's better. It's why I've never seen this even in your streams, man. So
that's what I'm saying. It's Discord only? Yeah. Hold on, let me check.
I'm gonna say, I've been past a few of your streams and you've never had microphone issues, so I'm not sure where that's coming from.
I turned off everything. Is it better?
Yeah, that's good. But what? So what?
Can you hear a fan in the back?
Hear a fan?
Yeah.
Nah. You good?
Okay. All right. Good.
So what? I guess what, you woke up one day and you're like, "Fuck, what do you do?" So did you even have a chance to kind of like move things around, or like what happened exactly? It just like the site didn't load, or was there like an exit date, or?
They gave it a month.
Yeah, really. But, what was that month like?
I left immediately. I went straight to Twitch.
Yeah, well, but you had the opportunity to kind of like try to get people to like move over to where you wanted to go and stuff, like simulcast or.
At that point, I was just sick. Everybody was just like, "This is not real."
So how many kids did you have at that point? Right, like you have kids. You got a family. You got to like what is like that? Seeing that tweet and then talking with your family and then like figuring it all out. Like, dude, I would have just popped up a bottle of vodka and just like and lost for a little while. Like, because 440,000 followers, right? Like.
Yeah,
like
all gone.
What was hour one like when you saw that?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I went straight to work. I called my agent, and it's actually funny how this happened. Shroud was on Mixer for a little bit. He raided me one night with like 20,000 people, and it just so happens that the Twitch partnership manager was watching me that night, and then followed me on Twitter after my stream. So I was like, wait a minute, I think we have a connection there. So I told my agent, hit him up and see what we can do, because we got to do something now. And then I got partnered the same day. So as soon as I got partnered that night at, midnight, I just started streaming on Twitch. Never looked back.
Awesome. Well, and then you end up on Facebook after that?
I had a good friend, Jabas Garrett. He was on Twitch, and he would always like help me out with raids and stuff. And then one day he called me. He's like, dude, I'm going to Facebook. And I was like, he's like, you should look into it. So it goes back in time. I used to have all the Facebook parties at like PAX East. So we knew the guy that ran Facebook. And so I told my agent, I hit him up. So he hits him up, and I got a deal on Facebook. And it was a pretty good, damn good deal. He only had to stream like 4 hours a day, and I didn't have to do much. But obviously, that's why Facebook failed.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's not around. It's not around anymore. Facebook will always be around.
Still a thing, though, right? Like, there's still a few people using it, correct? No, not at all.
I mean, you can stream on it, but that whole like side of the employment is gone.
It's like October 23rd. They shut it all down like of last year. It's a little over a year since they've shut it down.
But it's still like it still exists, right? Like there's still streams on there, but they're just
you can stream there.
Yeah, but there's no like I guess it's not managed. It's not like run or operate.
It's under the umbrella of Facebook now, not Facebook gaming.
Oh, gotcha. So it's just an extension of the social media platform where people can kind of like choose to interact with it. It's not really trying to build up as sort of a competitor.
I mean, it is big. Like people are saying in chat, Facebook is massive. It could have been even like bigger for the gaming side. It's just that it was ran poorly.
Yeah. Oh, well.
I'll say it's kind of the same realm of like how Twitter was before. Had all these employees, and then Elon comes in and just, cuts all those extra jobs out. That's what they should have done on Facebook a long time ago.
Yeah, but I feel like the issue with Twitter was the mindset of the people running it. Not so much that there was fat. It was so much like, I feel like Elon came in and changed the mindset. Is that what you're alluding to when you're...
cutting cost. Because, like, you remember seeing those, like TikToks of people that worked at Facebook or worked at Twitter, and they're like, oh, a day in the life, and they're just doing nothing. And then the next day they're like laid off, and like, I don't know why I got laid off. That's pretty much just they should have done a long time ago.
What? But you mean what in terms of like the streaming component of like Facebook gaming? What there was just a whole lot of stuff, but not exactly that much kind of output or requirement.
Yeah, they weren't doing anything. They worried about parties and this and that instead of like the core of like making it work.
Hey, your microphone.
When I was there, nothing worked.
It's struggling. Are you sure your input's correct?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Yeah, well, I guess, I think, I think it's easy to get caught up in all like the flashy aspects of stream. But when you get down to it, the nuts and bolts of it all is obviously viewers and streamers, right? That's kind of the one thing people be focusing on. So
I need to change my mic settings. Hey, it sounds good in stream. I don't care about usually Discord.
I think that's better.
It's because I'm looking this way.
I think that's looking like right. Hey, Jared, man, like I said, I'll hand over to you. I think that's a good segue into some of what you wanted to discuss anyway, from what I understand. But leave it to you. I think what Andrew was saying, like you've been asking your community for a few questions and stuff, and lead up as well.
Yeah, a lot of people wanted you to turn the slots on, so I had to ignore those.
Wait,
to turn the slots on for them.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
That was most of the questions that were asked. People wanted to know when the console app is coming out.
Yeah. Now, console app's on the roadmap, right? It's something we've been talking about for a while. When people ask for the console app, I got a question real quick. Like, when people ask for the console app, obviously the vast majority of people wanting a console app want a view on the console app, right? Because console is just so easy to watch with, correct? Not so much stream from console app.
I mean, they want that too, but... So a lot of my people are from Mixer, and that was the biggest aspect of it, was that you get on your Xbox, there it is.
Yeah.
When people like followed me on Xbox, like my gamer tag, and I went live on Mixer, it would alert them that I went live on the Xbox, like a noti.
Yeah.
So that helped me tremendously.
But I guess what, so obviously people want both, got that, but the majority of people, because obviously console is asked for all the time on Kick, and we've heard people loud and clear, we've made it very clear as well that we are working on that right now, we're getting to it, console is up there as one of the highest priorities we have, but I guess, the vast majority of people do want to just use it to watch people like yourself, and then a good handful of people also want that easy ability to stream within the app.
Yeah, obviously the streaming would be a lot more technical, but a lot of people are asking for the Roku app too. Just make them watch us is what they want.
Yeah, so we've got the TV app out, right? So like the TV apps, like I guess sets a nice little blueprint for what the console, Roku, Samsung TV as well. Like there's a whole bunch of other variations. I think that kind of what we call the devices layer. So that's a team. that we have that is designed to just continuously focus on getting as much of the Kick experience replicated across all different devices, whether that means improving the Android app and improving the iOS app, which we're very close to getting out. This is going to be one of the biggest releases we've done in a long time. Probably the biggest release ever, honestly. But that also does include console, Roku, Samsung TV, all that. Just getting that full coverage, right? Because I guess you as a streamer, one of the most important things is to ensure your community can watch from wherever they want to watch from, right? It doesn't matter whether they're on their laptop, doesn't matter whether they're on their phone, doesn't matter whether they're by the TV or on their console. They want to be able to tune in and get that notification and watch from wherever they're most comfortable from. So, fully understand that coverage, the coverage of all devices is by far one of the most important thing for viewers. And, obviously subsequently keeping the viewers happy means, people like yourself, right, end up getting all types of more, viewership and really important sort of KPIs going.
Yep. That's it. They just want to watch.
But the nuance that you said, Roku specifically, it's interesting, man, because Roku has done a pretty good job of integrating their brand into other television sets, right? Other brands, right? So like there isn't like a Roku, there is a Roku like television, but you can also find Roku in like a TLC or an LG
or a USB stick.
Or a USB stick, right? So Roku has done a pretty good job of being like across like a ton of different brands. So it doesn't surprise me that Roku kind of made its way up the charts that way. So yeah, Roku would be like a big move where we could capture a lot of TV sets, man.
Oh, for sure. Everybody's asking me about that on my stream. So do you have an actual working beta for the console app yet? Or an alpha? Or is it just a mobile, like the TV app is going to be put on the console?
Console uses completely different framework when it comes to how it's developed, right? So Xbox and PlayStation being obviously the two largest ones. It sets sort of the foundation, I guess, in terms of the user experience, right? I think the user experience of a TV app is relatively similar to that of a console app. A lot of the design, for example, a lot of the layout, etc., is all kind of good to go in that sense. But when it comes to actually developing it, it's completely separate, code base, completely separate way of approaching it. So it does need to be built from the ground up, but obviously, managed to reuse a lot of the pre-built sort of front-end components to an extent. So I think there is definitely a bit of a head start. In terms of a beta, unfortunately not yet. The biggest priority for that sort of devices team has been getting that TV apps out on Android and on Apple TV, but simultaneously also getting out the new iOS and Android app, which that's been the focus. So unfortunately, there's no console app that's ready for sort of beta testing. But I do feel like once we do get that iOS Android app, which is again, I don't say dates anymore because it
don't do that.
Issues. but once that comes out, people go like, all right, fuck, I get it. I get why it took a bit of time. They're gonna be like, shit, this is epic. So once that's done and dusted and across the line, obviously requires a bit of maintenance and continuous improvements, but the vast majority of that team will hopefully start working towards that console app and we'll have something in the pipeline. And again, I think the good news is a lot of that is reused from that TV app. So a lot of progress that's already been made, honestly.
Okay. Another big subject people are like talking about is obviously Aiden Ross. I know you don't want to talk about it a lot, but I think what people are looking for is how is Kick going to go forward with all these idiots that have come on the platform and tarnished the name with like all these news organizations and stuff. How are they going to keep going forward with all the negative? Like to get away from it.
So the microphone's struggling again, but I think I got the question. So you mean all the like the negative like headlines and like Kick streamer does X, Y, and Z? How's Kick going to move forward?
Yeah.
I think
I know it's hurt me personally. Like some people, like I've talked to Andrew before about this, like some companies, they don't even want to look at Kick because of the beginning of how it was. Most of those people are no longer here.
Yeah, no, I think it's an evolving process, right? I think, I talk about this a little bit. We got into the live streaming space and we're like, all right, this is going to be super easy. Sign a few streamers, make a platform, build a chat, make an authentication system, Bob's your uncle kind of situation. It's like, no worries. They're making a stream. And then you kind of realize, okay, I get why, YouTube does this or Twitch does that. And you kind of, you start quickly learning, right? And that's been it for the whole team, right? I think a lot of the team, whilst we're avid live streamers and we're very avid in the sense of our passion for the industry, actually being on this side of the fence has been a learning curve, right? And I think, when it comes to moderation, when it comes to understanding where to draw the line, where it comes to understanding, what you can and can't accept on the platform, that's been a learning curve, right? And I think we've gone from being incredibly loose to being a little bit more moderated. And, by no means I think we're anywhere close to being over moderated. I think we're very conscious of that. But, I think subsequently there's been some negative headlines. There's been a few negative situations, right? But I always say this, I think that represents a very small minority of the platform, right? And I think just like anything, things come in trends. I think for a while there, unfortunately, it was quite trendy almost online to go like, Kick did this, Kick did that. Just like anything though, I think trends
it still happens every day.
I think
they're
it's
not even here anymore.
Right? The sentiment is changing, right? And I feel that tide changing. I think most importantly though, I think people need to realize, hey, look, Kick's around for the long term. So I think consistently showing up, consistently showing that, hey, look, this is the direction the platform's going in, consistently doing right by the creators and also doing right by the viewers, I think, changes that narrative, right? And I think we understand where we want to be, I understand where we want to go forward. So for some people, maybe that is where we're attempting to go. People believe that to be not enough in terms of moderation. Some people might think that it's actually too much in terms of moderation. For us here at Kick, we think it's the perfect balance, and we're going to continue in this direction. And I think it's a great place to be in terms of how we can, continue to make sure it's a platform that people are really proud to stream on. I think that's most important, right? And people are able to get sponsorships. Creators feel like they're on a safe and reputable brand, and subsequently viewers as well when they come by. So, to answer that question, I think it's about just keep on keeping on, right? Like that's most important. I think consistency is key. I think things are in a really good spot as they are, and we'll continue to move forward, right? But I certainly see a positive trajectory in terms of some of that negativity. I think the brand is certainly improving.
And look, Jared, man, like you just need to go to your about page, man. You got G Fuel, Logitech, Astro, Paradox Customs. I mean, Clutch. I mean, it seems like you have a lot of brands who are still rocking with you.
No, so, they are.
I do see that the Kick streamer yada 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 headline slowly dissipating, but it didn't come without us like falling on a lot of swords, calling that behavior out. But
no, I definitely seen you on there fighting the good fight.
But
it's anybody will tweet anything nowadays. It's just all. I'm glad there's the community notes that usually saves most of it. Because now, if you do get community noted, you don't get paid for that tweet.
Yeah, I think
which brings another question.
The negative headlines have been rough, right? I think to begin with, the problem is we kind of rolled with those negative headlines to begin with. We're kind of like, oh yeah, any publicity is good publicity. Kind of took that approach, but we quickly realized, hold on, that's actually not good because people started to take it really seriously. So we kind of push back on it now. We're like, hold on a second. If people want to spread misinformation, it's up to our communications team, our public relations team, to kind of put their foot down and go, no, that's not true. So. I think a lot of that time we kind of slept on how important it is to maintain a good brand image and maintain a good positioning in the broader sort of, streaming world as a good player. So, I think we are getting on the front foot there in trying to remove a lot of that misinformation and incorrect headlines that kind of sensationalize or incorrectly report on what's actually happening. So that's up to us to get ahead of.
No, you've done a good job of it. I do have another question that leads into what I was just talking about. A lot of these misinformation Twitter accounts are promoting stake, and it's become a big thing that every single one of them are getting community noted. And a lot of people are wondering, that needs to stop. I think it's making a bad end. I know it's steak, kick, and all that, but it comes down to they're just saying your name. Eddie is in charge of it.
So I think your
I would
microphone cut
say
out for the last bit there, but
when they see steak and kick, they think of you because you are the face of both of those platforms. And they're getting now, the news sources are talking about all these accounts that keep putting the steak ad on there, but then they keep tweeting the craziest things about to get views, obviously, because they're getting paid because it's an ad.
yeah.
Just want to know what your thoughts were on that.
Yeah, no, I've seen that. That's kind of got blown up a bit, right? It's on like a whole bunch of tweets now, right?
It's a whole nother level.
How many do you see a day?
Every viral tweet has one on it. But some of the tweets are getting like more notice because I guess it was Valkyrie. These Twitter accounts keep tweeting stuff that she's saying all these crazy things, but it's actually nothing, like it's not true at all.
Yeah.
But even though they get community noted, they're still getting like 70,000 likes on it, but there's a big steak ad right on it.
And you're saying that steak association leads
back to Eddie.
Yeah, I think just like anything, I think obviously Steak's marketing team, Steak's operation is like, there's 1,000 odd people involved in it. I think, Twitter's like a small part of like Steak's whole marketing, machine almost, as I'd call it. Might have to look in further in that. I think, just like anything, things start off small. Sometimes they can escalate into big areas. I think that campaign, for example, isn't like directly run by Steak. It's like an affiliation of sorts. But I think for sure if it's going to negatively impact Kick, then that's something else. But, obviously from what I understand and my understanding of those campaigns, like obviously I think X has a terms of service around gambling. But in terms of the actual I guess it comes down to the mechanic in which it's built, right? If people are being motivated to make tweets that may, like, for example, I know what you're talking about with the Valkyrie one. I saw that, right? Again, that's messed up, right? Like you don't want people taking stuff out of context and hurting people's reputation on the back of potentially trying to farm engagement. So that's certainly dangerous. I think it's about understanding a bit more of what's happening on that Steak side and how they're kind of operating that marketing campaign and potentially putting in guidelines and whatnot. I think it's just similar to any marketing campaign, right? Whereby you can have incredible aspects where you plaster your brand in great positions, and then with user generated content you can end up in the wrong places. So I think it's about finding its footing and figuring out like how that can work with without kind of ending up in those sticky situations is my guess. But yeah, I think when it comes to the Steak marketing side, I'd like to think that hopefully that doesn't end up coming up too close onto the Kick side, as they are obviously separate companies, separate staff, separate sort of agendas, separate websites. But
it leads back to you, and that's why I brought it up. Is because when people see that, they're like, "Oh, there's Eddie's marketing campaign." Yeah, so I'm sure it's just a few bad eggs that took advantage of a marketing deal.
Let me.
But I would definitely look into it.
It's a good point. I think ultimately it comes down to how we kind of operate that and how we if we're sitting there incentivizing people for the wrong stuff. Again, that could be resolved. I think that form of marketing is obviously very new, and when you're kind of treading into new waters and how you kind of obviously make sure that everything is done correctly means that there sometimes needs to be a hard look at the processes behind it. So that's a good point. I'll see what we can add in place.
Yeah, Sergeant Jack said he just scrolled 3 posts and they were all you. They're all Steak, which is you, but yeah. He said he just scrolled on Twitter just now and he saw 3 of them. Yeah. Some of them are just regular tweets, obviously. There's nothing harmful on them. But a lot of them are getting traction now.
Just so I understand quickly, from the ones I've seen, I saw the one from Valkyrie today. That was fucked up, right? I think that was dealt with and organized.
There was like 5 of them about her.
What, reposting the same thing?
No. They're all just this. They're like clips of her talking about something completely different, and then they tweet it something crazy to get views.
I don't know. Just like to throw that back here. At what point though do you think that's like up to Twitter as a platform to moderate that as well? Like I don't know. Where does like the situation sit like at that point in terms of moderating? Because obviously like it does seem like a strange sort of area whereby it's like, hold on, whose platform is this and whose like content is being blasted to tens of millions of accounts?
So the problem is all those tweets are getting community noted. So they're not getting paid from Twitter for them. And they're being noted like this is false. This is also a stake ad. But then it comes down to they're still getting paid because it's a stake ad with 10 million views on it.
Yeah, gotcha.
So they have no punishment for doing all of this because they're still getting paid. But it comes back to you because you're the face of stake, face of kick. So that's why I brought it up.
Yeah, no, understood. I think we'll take a look into that campaign and try to understand a bit more around it. But yeah, I think guardrails can be put in place to avoid those situations. That's for sure.
And then Valkyrie tweeted out she's getting lawyers, so now it's just ugly. And so that's why I brought it up.
Yeah. No, we'll take a look at that. I think it's a good question. I think at the end of the day, though, it is kick talk. But I think you make a good point in saying, hey, look, all roads lead to kind of some sort of similarity. So you need to definitely sort of prevent that from flowing over into the kick side, right? So fully conscious.
100%.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Like we're just talking about like the negative side of kick. People are going to say kick Eddie always. It's always your name. I'm looking out for you, man.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that.
I don't know what's the next question these people want to hear. A lot of people are asking about Aiden Ross, so I got to bring it up to you, or else they're gonna get mad at me.
Yeah, I think right now Aiden's taking a break from streaming. If he chooses to stream elsewhere, I think that's fine, right? That's up to him. Obviously, incredibly valued member of Kick, being one of the first people to move over. Brought a lot of people over, which is something that we respect. I'll be honest, when Aiden first started coming out, I thought it was kind of was like a troll, right? And I've openly said this, but again, that's up to him, right? He's a creator. He's got all the opportunities out there. He can do what he wants, and I think more power to him in whatever choice he chooses to make. He's obviously got an amazing community, a huge following, an incredibly loyal one. He's a relatively controversial streamer, but I think he's also someone who's set the standard for what live streaming looks like today. There is thousands of streamers that are streaming the type of content based on what Aiden did. And I think people forget that sometimes. It's no secret that, Kai Cenat, right, started on Aiden's E-dates almost, right? And, I Show Speed even came up on the back of Aiden. So, he's done a lot for the industry. And I think he's got the potential to be one of the largest streamers if he puts his mind to it and works really hard and makes great content. So, I hope he does that on Kick. If he chooses to go do that elsewhere, then that's fine too. I think that's up to him. At the end of the day, I'm a big believer that if at any point a platform is reliant on anybody, that's dangerous. So, we got to be, happy to have people come, go. And, my guess is as people come and go and come back again, I think that, sometimes it's about, seeing what it's like out there and what other opportunities await, right? I think that's a really healthy way to look at things. So, again, that's up to Aiden, and more power to him no matter what he chooses to do. But I think he's done a lot for Kick, and Kick will never forget that. And I think whatever direction he takes, I wish him all the best.
There you go, Chad. You can stop tweeting at me. Someone tagged me on Twitter to ask you that.
No, I think people would ask it a lot.
It's a big conversation.
I've been kind of unsure. didn't even 100% know the answer. I think the first time people started in chat asking me, I was like, "Fuck, I got no idea." I was super confused. I was taken back. Everyone expected me know exactly what's going on. I kind of cracked a few jokes. I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Aiden not going nowhere.
And that was tweeted everywhere when you cracked those jokes.
Yeah. And then apparently, I think I put fuel on the fire by accident. But anyway, that's all good. That's all good. But
it's publicity.
Yeah.
What do you call it? I think people don't forget as well that Aiden is very young, and he also graduated during a pandemic straight into stardom.
Yeah.
And I think people forget he hasn't really lived yet. He's just been streaming ever since the pandemic.
I think he's lived a bit of life. I think he's had a good
life, but it's always been on camera.
I think that guy cannot claim to have lived a little. So I don't know. I disagree with that. But yeah, it must be crazy. I think it's easy to forget how young some people are. I don't know. I used to think I was Yeah, I know. I used to always think I was pretty young, and then you see like, wait a second, now I'm getting kind of old quickly when you see people like Aiden. So,
Well, how old are you now?
yeah, I'm 29.
Oh, you're there, man. You're there. You're right. Yeah. When do you turn 30?
July.
Okay. I'm 2 years older than you. It doesn't feel like it though. I feel like you're the dad.
Oh, really?
And Andrew's the grandpa over here.
Ryan, man, I'm just,
Hey, Andrew, you're looking real young now without the mustache. I'm not gonna lie. You're looking like 3 or 4 years younger, maybe even 5.
oh shit. Maybe
You're looking
that's right, I'm
real
looking-
young.
No, I could not do the mustache during Thanksgiving, man. It was just all
much
that
food?
food. No, man, there was no way. There was no way. It all end up in the mustache, man. I can grow it back pretty fast, but I appreciate it. I'll take the compliments, man.
I think
Someone asked about drops, like Twitch drops. Oh,
drops huge initiative. I think what the biggest part about drops is just sort of the public API component. So drops to begin with, the very earliest days of drops were just simply people, third-party developers plugging into the API, linking up their authentication, linking up to the viewers watching the stream, and then giving it out randomly, right? So that's how drops originated. With the public API, we're very much hoping to allow for, developers to jump on top of that. Maybe we'll have our own sort of extra sort of tooling to easily allow it to happen. But, really looking forward, I think we've invested obviously a lot of money, and we've proven that we're happy to invest a lot of money in growth. And I think, starting to invest in these other areas instead of just streamers. We'll continue to support streamers, right? 100%. But starting to invest in working with orgs, working with working with gaming developers to put together some really cool drops for our community would be amazing, because I know how much that means and how much that could bring over other streamers, right? Suddenly you say you got this incredible promotion, this credible drops event that's only running on Kick, with a certain app or with a certain publisher, that could be huge. So we're really looking forward to taking that to another level and not just supporting the streamers through allowing this, but also supporting the publishers out there, because we want to create really strong relationships with them as well. I think there's a lot of power in that. So, really looking forward to doing drops and doing it properly. I speak about this a little bit. I've kind of looked into drops for a while now, and I remember when I first saw it, I'm like, fuck, this sucks. Like, all it does is promote like a bunch of people to kind of sit there and just idle in a chat. It's almost like viewbots, right? But I think we've got a little bit of a take on it, on how we can try to get people a little bit more active and promote the right kind of activity, with some very, very basic sort of machine learning components to it to make sure the drops are given out to the right people who are properly engaging in the community and not kind of like completely distanced and working towards, actually promoting healthy engagement opposed to just idling. I think that'll be really cool as well. So, we want to take our own take on it. I think drops is one of those things which has been added and just neglected. I think there's some super, super basic stuff you can do to just completely take drops to like another level almost. But yeah, no, we're gonna get that sorted and hopefully not only do it through just, slight innovation on the technology side, but working together to have really positive partnerships with the publishers to get something that's quite special.
I would say that's a huge problem with Twitch right now is they have a drop for a certain game, then people will just either viewbot or embed their stream to be the number one stream and then just leave it running.
Yeah.
And then the whole time they're just getting money for free by people just sitting on the stream. And there's no actual entertainment or engagement there.
Yeah, no, I think that's a problem with drops, right? I think it ends up kind of killing a little bit of like the section temporarily. Like there'll be a whole bunch of drops running, and then the section gets slightly inflated, and you kind of feel like the need to do it. So I think there's a smarter way to do that. I think as long as you're willing to think of things a little bit differently and understand, hey, look, what does a good viewer look like? Because there's good viewers and there's kind of like not so great viewers, right? Not all viewers are equal, right? Like if you got like a chat, if you've got say 20 viewers and 18 chatters, that's awesome, right? But you say you've got like 1,000 viewers and 3 chatters, that kind of isn't as great, right? So, I think it's about getting people actually engaged, getting them on the platform and how we can incentivize that throughout drops. But I think there's some simple stuff that can be done. So I think there's some problems there that can be worked through for sure.
Hey, what about kicks? Go ahead.
Real quick, Jared, just to add a little bit more around the API and drops, our team is getting closer and closer to getting something really solid out. So I just want to give you guys proof of life that there's been like onboarding interfaces and testing and kicking the tires this past week and leading into next week. Again, not giving any dates or anything like that, but
don't do that.
I just want to give you reassurances that that anyone who's on our API board knows this, right? So we might have some people in here like Pike's might be in here, Mr. Boost might be in here who can verify all that. But I think it's important that we say what we're doing, but I also want to give like progress updates on our roadmap that this thing is closer than ever than it's been before. And this past week in Stockholm, we had really good conversations with Riot. We had really good conversations with Activision. We had really good conversations with Blizzard. And they all revolved around drops.
That's a huge 3 companies there.
Yep, and no one got up out of the table and left. Everyone was very respectful. Conversations were healthy. So I just want to drop that to further instill confidence in the direction Kick is going in.
That's a W. I do have another question that's kind of off this topic. Are you ready for this, Eddie?
Yeah.
Someone asked, can you talk about syncing up a crypto wallet to sub capabilities? That way people can sub via credit card or crypto.
I think, been asked this a few times, to be honest. When it comes to crypto, obviously we understand that world pretty well. I think we could easily integrate a lot of that technology. I think, for the longest time, I think the first year of Kick, everyone kind of like, really associated with stake and said, hey, look, this business doesn't have the aspiration to be a streaming platform because of stake or whatever, right? Obviously that theory is now like died off and you don't really hear it as much. So, I think now it would be okay to add sort of that crypto component. Again, we just want to be careful of people thinking like, oh, wow, this is, encouraging people to use crypto, which is encouraging people on stake. Again, we just didn't want people to kind of come up with these theories. But yeah, I think we could. If there's demand for it, that'd be great, right? Again, if we can allow more people, more options to pay and to give money, that's great, right? Just like we're talking about the devices layer and allowing people to watch on different devices, allowing people to subscribe and give money to their favorite creator through all types of different avenues, whether that's, obviously Stripe using MasterCard, Visa card, etc., or, using crypto, or, even more so than that, very much focused on getting coverage, say, for Portuguese streamers or Brazilian streamers rather, Pix, or in Canada, allowing people to use Interac, or, in, South America, allowing people to use AstroPay, other kind of, wallets and services as well that are very popular amongst other countries is, top of mind as well. Just simply coming from coverage, right? That's super important. So we're not sleeping on that. I think crypto would be a really easy one for us to add just because we have the tech, we have the capability, we're pretty comfortable with it. The only thing with crypto though is it is quite difficult to do recurring subs. So that kind of sucks, but obviously gifted subs or that could be really useful.
Or even like the Kicks coming out.
Yeah. Well, I think Kicks will be great for that because when Kicks come out, I think Kicks is going to be really game changer. I was thinking a little bit about this, but realistically in streaming, right? Like obviously there's been gifted subs. Like gifted subs has been a huge thing. That was such an amazingly well thought out idea to bring out gifted subs because suddenly you could give people like hundreds of dollars at a time, which really changed the whole landscape of streaming. But when it comes to like donations, right? Like there's never really been a proper system in place that doesn't absolutely chalk you when it comes to like fees, right? So like you've never really had a proper system to donate to streamers without like 30, 40, 50% of it being eaten away. So no one's really properly utilized like donation systems. So, the more I think about how impactful Kicks are going to be, because it's going to be literally the first time you can quite easily send money across the internet to a streamer and then get more or less the whole entire chunk of it minus the processing fees. So, I think when that comes out, it's going to completely change the game because, I think obviously bits on Twitch is a big deal. But the reality is you spend $100, you get like $60 worth of bits, right? And then the streamer ends up getting cut on them too. And then by everything's said and done, you got like cents on the dollar, right? So people are like, why the fuck am I going to do that? I'm going to go through PayPal or all that kind of stuff. So you suddenly remove the hurdle of PayPal and give people, the fair pay they deserve. I think that donation system or the variation of kicks is going to go real hard, because I don't think anyone's ever had the ability to do it seamlessly within a platform. So I'm super fired up about that one. I think we've slept on it a bit. I think we haven't prioritized it as much as we should have. Just simply by the virtue that Kick doesn't take a fee on people's donations, doesn't take a fee on people's subs, means that I think that system is going to go insane. And, I think the goal to that would be allowing people to send as much as possible, right? I think also having a world, because there are people out there, right? There are people out there who want to send a streamer like $10,000, $20,000, and I think we should support that. I think there are people, like I know for a fact, I see it going around where, like, Train's a good example. He goes around to streamers and sends them like $50,000 in Bitcoin, right? But he can't do that on the platform because the platform doesn't support that, because there's super high fees and inability to do so. So, I think in creating this like next level sort of donation system that really supports people sending large amounts of money as well as not taking the fees is going to be really game changing for Kick. I think Kick has a really healthy sub sort of community almost or culture around it, due to the fact that it's 95.5 and people know that if they're giving money to people, they're getting the whole lot. So yeah, once we bring this out, I truly believe it's going to shake things up a bit and be one of the bigger updates. So, only sort of these last 2 weeks has really kind of thought about, hold on, what would this mean for Kick as a platform and how would it separate it? Due to the fact where we draw the line in what we take fees on. I'm going to push as hard as possible to get that out as soon as possible. So, I'm really looking forward to using it as well. I want to be able to, as you guys know, I jump by some channels every now and again and give some subs, but, it'd be really cool to be able to just send people like, kicks or kind of a direct donation. And heck, that could be any amount as well too. I wouldn't mind it if I didn't have to do my, my OTP every 100 subs. I could send something a bit juicier.
So like, it would be cool to have a system where, like on Twitch, you buy bits. So on Kick, you would buy kicks, right? So it would be cool if you could buy those kicks with either cash, like credit card or whatever, or crypto.
Yeah.
So that way,
crypto.
It's not exactly sending crypto to other people. You're sending them kicks.
And then just allowing instant sort of cash outs almost, right? Could be pretty cool. Again, I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't be instant. Maybe it'd have to go into the Stripe payouts every week because of fraud and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I think there's a world that could work 100%.
I mean, well, in that way, when you do it through you, like, obviously there's a protection system that Kick could make, because it's you're seeing all the information. We're not seeing it. So if someone like did credit card fraud, y'all could fight it or take the hit. That's what Twitch does with all their systems. And that's honestly probably why they take a fee. But you got to take that in consideration. Like someone could just, buy 10,000 kicks and then charge it back. Yeah.
Well, it's the same with gifted subs, right? That's the same issue that you have at the moment. Like people can do exactly the same thing. Like the difference between gifted subs and kicks or any currency isn't exactly that major. They really are just different denominations, right? Instead of like one gifted sub equal $5, it's like one kick equals $0.01 or 1 cent, right? So, the very same concepts apply to it. The same fraud rules, the same ways you manage risk, the same way you manage exposure, that all applies, which, we're well and truly across. Maybe we'll open up some new avenues to it that we'll probably need to be a little bit more cautious of, but again, I don't think it's a problem too complicated to solve. Of course, credit card fraud and all that is a thing that goes on every now and again. But yeah, we would have to figure out ways to solve for that. But I don't think it's an issue. But obviously, crypto removes a lot of that issue as well. Crypto is, of course, one-way street in that sense. There is no chargeback. So, subsequently could allow for people to maybe add more balance quicker, potentially, is something we could look towards. But, again, we'd have to be, very conscious of how that's done and how that we, look at that. First thing comes to mind is sort of the AML policy around that. Would we need to verify people's identity and start collecting KYC documentation for crypto? Obviously, Stripe grabs identification, but we need to add that into the platform. So there's a few things that come to mind, but again, not impossible to solve. I think that's innovation we could, work towards and, make that really impactful for the business. If there's demand, we can fill it, right?
That would be cool if what you just said, if you added a KYC element to Kick and like made, how do you say, like not verified, but like there'd be a verified viewer. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's that one person. It's not like 100 accounts of the same person.
What do you
See where I'm
mean?
going with this? It'd be cool if as a viewer, you could verify like a KYC kind of thing on Kick.
Yeah. Yeah, you mean like
Obviously,
there's a way
like,
to
would you
kind of
just
like
say, like-
increase your verification, and then that, you know, subsequently leads to a badge or some sort of like indication in the chat.
It doesn't even have to be in the chat, but like in their info of their like who they are.
Yeah. That could be cool. Yeah, I guess it's similar to kind of like that whole concept around like the blue tick on Twitter, right? Kind of like somewhat verifies, hey, look, this person has added some form of identity to their account. You know, obviously that charges money, which we wouldn't be doing that. But, you know, it does, you know, help to legitimize like, hold on, is this like a real person? Is this a bot? Is this, you know, where does this person stand? I don't know. I think you'd be careful implementing stuff like that, though. Like, obviously, it's you know, a balancing act, but you know, as long as it doesn't have any detrimental effects or cause people to like, you know, we don't want to force people to have to like upload a whole bunch of verification to a streaming platform. I think that's scary. But again, if people want to because they want to like say, hey, I'm not a bot or I'm like a legitimate person, and you know, help push a case, and that makes sense. And if it subsequently opens up avenues such as like crypto deposits we talked before, that'd be pretty cool.
Well, like you're talking about the kicks and like crypto. So that would be a step that you'd probably have to take, like you just said, because of all the laws and all that stuff.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But at the same time, it could be good for the platform. Like you click on someone's name and it's verified, like whatever, you know, they're like, they took a lot of steps to get that. So they're probably not going to do something stupid to you.
Yeah, no, great. I think, yeah, you add that small component of just understanding who they are. And I think people just act very differently online as well, right? I think, yeah, when you're not completely anonymous or feel like you are, then, you know, you attract a different type of personality.
Yep. Twitter's full of it.
But Jared, you know, going back to what you were saying about like Twitch, where you buy a certain amount of bits, right? Like, would you want it that way on Kick too, or would you just want it just to be like easy peasy transaction direct? You know what I'm saying? As opposed to
maybe both.
I always felt like on Twitch, it was always like, well, they're gatekeeping all those points for a reason to like take a cut, right?
They take a huge cut.
Constantly taking a cut. You know, what I'm hearing with these kicks, you know, especially if it's going through crypto, is just like it's a one-on-one transaction, instant. It's it's much cleaner. What would be the case for doing it in denominations of kicks?
I mean, I think you should do it the same way Twitch does. But obviously, when people do buy biddies all the time, like there's even with them getting half of their money to the streamer, people still do it every day. So imagine if y'all say that it's a 1-to-1, and the only thing is the fees from Stripe or whatever it is. I think people will do it even more, no matter what it is, like how long it takes. Like people will do it.
Yeah, I think
because people get ripped off every day and they just love it. I know you do it every day on Twitch. I can't imagine how many biddies get bought a day.
On, give me 2 seconds. 1 second. You guys keep going.
Hey, no, yeah, man. What I'd love for you to move into more is a little bit of the stuff around Mixer, right? Like any red flags you see that maybe we're doing, right? Or that we've already done, or that we're like full faceplant into, or anything that you saw that it might be coming up in the horizon, man. Because I just can't imagine, like, you know, being a partner for as long as you were on that platform, and then, you know, and then watching it all. Also, I think I met a good bit of Mixer people at, I think it was DreamHack Atlanta in 2023, and it was like a counseling session, man. It was at an after party, and they were all drinking, and they were all just like, oh man, Mixer this, Mixer that, and I was just like, well, damn, like how did it slip away so fast? So I would love for you to move some questions in that direction, like what you might be seeing.
So I think the main thing is Microsoft is a pretty shitty company. Let's just get that out of the way. They make a lot of money. They do a lot of stupid things, and they can hide their dumb decisions by just canceling and deleting those projects and just go to the next one. But Kick needs to be around because of what stake is. And I think you just got to accept it. Like, I think people talk bad sometimes about stake, you know, for whatever reason, you know, gambling or whatever it does. But at the same time, it's because of Stake that Kick is here, and they've changed a lot of people's lives when Twitch wasn't there for them. And that's just like, how do you say this? You've like with the subs, first of all, getting 100% of your subs, 99 whatever percent it is, that changed a lot of people's, like including my life, because now the people that I was getting 3K from a month on Twitch, now I was getting 6K a month. So I mean, it changes everything. But I know you don't like to put those two words together, Kick and Stake, because then people will associate it. But I think you should just accept it, and just like how Amazon and Twitch are. Not everybody likes Amazon. They have their shitty practices or whatever they do and all that other stuff. They promote gambling just the same as Stake is. But because of Amazon, people have jobs on Twitch. Same way. I know. So I was in the general sense, you don't have to like keep hiding each of them together. You know what I'm saying? Like in a positive light, Stake is the reason Kick is here.
Yeah, well, I guess
like no other casino did it.
How you look at it, right? Obviously, yeah, Stake is the business which has subsequently been able to lead to the ability to invest a large amount of money into live streaming, right? But obviously, Stake and Kick are very separate companies, very separate goals, very separate staff. I hold that very true. But in terms of hiding it, we don't hide it, right? Like, I think me personally, right, I've just like finished my Stake stream, right? I finished my Stake stream. I come here to Kick Talk. Like, I've got like fucking Stake in my Twitter name. Like, again, we make no, it's not like we try to keep it a secret, right? We're like, I don't know what Stake is. Like, Stake doesn't exist. Like, Stake's over here, which is very important to my heart. And, Kick's over here, which is also very important to my heart as well, right? So, again, obviously, yeah, the Stake component, I think it was, early on, when Kick first arrived, we're on the block and we're like, hey, look, we're this new streaming platform. People are like, oh, this is really bad. It's a gambling platform or whatever. I do think people are fine with that now, right? I don't think people really mind. Of course, people thought to begin with, like, oh, they're going to start getting like Stake ads or you're going to have to be like forced to sign up to Stake in order to use the website or, and obviously we held true to the fact that was never the plan, right? We're never going to do that. We're never going to go ahead and just start ramming it down people's throats. I think that's what people were worried about to begin with. But, we've kept them both arm's length, right? They're both very separate businesses, separate goals. But yeah, no, I think we never try to, deny the fact that the companies have overlap, right? I think that's fine. If anything, I think people should be happy about that to an extent. Obviously, it's well-funded. I think a lot of companies out there entering in the space, they have to rely on like funding from outside investors and basically, hey, look, the stream platform doesn't get a Series B investment or a Series C investment. It means all the creators are like basically left to fend, the platform goes down, right? There's nothing like that they need to worry about that because obviously Kick is incredibly well funded and is able to continue to move on without any issues at all, right? So yeah, I guess there's solace in saying, hey, look, this is backed by another business which can stand on its own 2 feet, But yeah, I guess that's how you frame it. It depends on how you frame it, right? I don't believe the Kick solely exists because of Stake. I think that'd be an incorrect way of putting it. But I guess if you peel it back, I guess without the success of Stake, then obviously Kick probably wouldn't be here, right? It was built off the success of one business, but yeah. I get. But
I think you should embrace that more. You're talking about people getting like Stake deals. It's no different over on Twitch of people promoting DraftKings and FanDuel every single day. They'll be the same people tweeting out, oh, Stake's bad. And then sign up today. Here's my code. It's the same people.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. I guess
you should embrace it,
when you look back, like Stake got banned off Twitch, and then like 1 week later, they like announced this like multi-billion-dollar or multi-hundred, I don't know what it was, deal with DraftKings. Like, wait, what's going on here?
And then half the people complaining about it having DraftKings.
Yeah, how funny is it?
Every one of them, every single one of
them, and all those like I can't remember who else, but all those like really like anti-gambling people are now promoting gambling. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you guys were getting so angry at us before. Like, what are you doing now? like Thanksgiving
just passed. Every single top Twitch streamer had a deal with some underdog fantasy.
Oh yeah, fucking even
DraftKings,
Duke
FanDuel.
Price and that was always having to go like, I would never touch kick because of gambling, and now he's advertising gambling. I'm like, brother, you can't say that. What are you doing? Like, that's a 180 there, man. Like, I fuck with you, but like, what are you doing?
No, on the cusp of that, I was leaving there. The talking point is that Twitch is walking away from gambling for the health of the streaming community. That was that.
That's how it was framed. They're like, hey, look, we're protecting people from gambling, but meanwhile, we're gonna like embed like fucking 30-second ads that you have to watch every like 10 minutes of like DraftKings, FanDuel, all that shit. It's like, what the fuck?
It was wild, man. And then at the same time, I'm looking at it, I'm like, wait a minute, we just signed a multi-billion-dollar deal with Prime Video and NFL that has a direct relationship with DraftKings, and that just overtook everything, right? And I was just like, this is gaslighting at its best, man. This is it was just absolutely wild. But Jared, to kind of add another layer to what you're talking about, like, look, I know nothing about crypto casino. I know that's was never in my portfolio and my resume. And when I came over here to Kick, I was like, I'm just a live streaming guy. That's what I am, right? And there was never on, when in talking with Bijan or Eddie or the guys over here, there was never this idea that Kick was going to become Stake 2.0, because I knew nothing about that. Like I was just flat out. I was like, I'm not your guy. You have plenty of people on the stake side that can certainly execute on that. So, I think for me, the real prize for me is media consumption. Being able to take over the Netflixes, the Hulus, the Disney Pluses, man. Like, I think that live streaming can do that. Like you're talking about like Netflix, like influencing culture, like because of the mass amount of media that is consumed on those platforms. It's the same thing with places like Kick. I feel that if we can uncork the ability of live streaming, that we can move into that sector big time because of the interactivity, because of chat, because of, kicks and bits and channel points and interact, just be more hands-on with the community, right? So for me, that's really the eye on the prize is, yes, it's awesome to allow gambling and people to be adults and do whatever the hell they want within reason on any platform. But I think the true thing is how do we become the mega consumed media? And that's where I think the benefit's going to come from in the live stream.
Yeah, we need a console app.
I think
you got to get these viewers here somehow.
Before you walk, before you run, right? Like I think we're starting to walk a little bit now, and we're running when we get to that level, right? But I think on the content level is where we truly can exceed, right? I think embracing, like, I was actually talking to someone relatively kind of prominent in the space. They've been involved in live streaming for like over 10, 15 years nearly. And the idea being was like, hold on, like the idea of like attaching a chat and a community is so epic, right? Like you can add a chat to almost anything and it makes it better. Like that's the way I look at it. Like anything, like whether you're watching esports, like if the moment you add a chat to it, it's epic, right? You can go ahead and just add like this community component of having like a live chat and having like a live interaction and a live feed of people like interacting and reacting to something. And you can add that to so many other dimensions of content and it can just make it so much better, right? Like I think that's where live streaming never really took off or went even further. It didn't try to expand outside of user generated content. Like the reality is live streaming is so far ahead because of the chat component. The chat is the heart of live streaming. You take that same heart of live streaming that happens on user generated content and apply that to other areas. I think the sky's the limits. To what Andrew says as well, like I think there's some really cool stuff that can be done by just embracing like why is live streaming successful, apply that to other areas of media too. Like I think that's something which excites me at least.
It would all work. I mean, it's all gonna be better, but if I was you in your position, the owner of Kick and Steak, I would put all the money in right now to get that console app as soon as possible. I'm just telling you, like I've seen it work.
We're on it. I think the big misconception sometimes is like, oh, just hire more people and things move faster. I think with technology is something. It's not like building a building, or it's not like building manufacturing objects. Sometimes the more people you throw at a problem isn't always the best way to scale it. Like there is a little bit more complicated in the sense that you have to be very diligent in the way that you scale technology for a long-term outlook. So yeah, I hear you loud and clear on that. We're not sleeping on anything. Obviously, we're moving as fast as we think is possible on that front. But yeah, it's not about an if, it's a when, right? And I think just like we've got a couple of really big updates coming out shortly that are hopefully going to continue to wow people. I think, when that console app drops, or maybe, hey, look, it's just like PS5 or Xbox it'd probably be Xbox to begin with. It's going to get there.
What are there any regulations that Kick has to follow to get the app on the console? Like, is there a strict list that Xbox or Microsoft or Sony gives you that says if you want your app on this console, then you have to make sure this, and this, and this?
Yeah, of course. No different to Apple Store, right? Or Android or Google Play, right? There's list of requirements, but I think we've already got approval for all that, so that's not an issue. It's just a matter of making sure that the application is compliant with where you're hosting it. Sometimes things are different. That's not an issue for us though, no doubt.
It's crazy. I was reading someone's chat. They said, enough with the console talk. Listen, I've seen it firsthand. It blew me up on Mixer in 2 years to 300,000 followers from 13K just because of an Xbox app.
Yeah, but
it changes life.
Also, Mixer was a gateway drug into Game Pass, man. Like
no, that wasn't until very, very, very late. And I'll tell you a story about that.
So you don't think there was an entire ecosystem that was just feeding into Xbox?
No.
It
was a tab over on the home screen at one point. But other than that, I mean, any app can do that now on the way they have it set up on the Xbox. What do you call it? A long time ago, Game Pass did come to Mixer and say, hey, we have this $10 million deal that we want to do and promote your streamers. And it was where everybody that had Game Pass got a free sub. And so every single day, anybody who streamed that day, if you got into a tiered list of how many Game Pass subs you got, you could get up to like $1,000 a day for free. And they end up canceling it because all the Mixer partners complain that it was the rich got richer. But if they would have just looked at the math, anybody that would have streamed that day, there was that many partners, everybody would have got money. That was like 2 months before they closed down.
So just backtrack there for a second, Jared. What exactly was the mechanic there?
Everybody that had Game Pass, like subscribed to Game Pass on Xbox, got a free sub to people on Mixer, like Twitch Prime.
Yeah, true.
And they end up canceling it at the last minute. But someone had brought it up earlier that you should implement that somehow with Stake. Even though you don't like the connection between the two, it would definitely help people out.
I think
give people
again, it comes back to like the idea of like, what are we trying to achieve? If we're looking to achieve acquisition on the Stake side, I get it, right? But I don't think that's the goal here, right? The goal here would be to infuse the community with more subscriptions to be able to subscribe and support their favorite creators. And I think the best way to go about that is not by linking that to, say, for example, Stake, because again, that's not the goal here. I think the way to go about this, and I've kind of floated this idea a little bit internally and also here on a Kick Talk, is going like, hold on a second, who are our power chatters? Who are the super users of Kick who are, engaging in multiple communities, and give them, say, for example, 10 or even 15 sort of like special subs which they're able to kind of distribute, right? So, kind of help to infuse the creator ecosystem with users who we know are out there supporting multiple creators. That's as a way of rewarding them as well, right? Rather than saying, hey, sign up to Stake and deposit X amount of dollars and do this, and then we'll give you a gifted sub. Like, go, hold on a second. This person here is active in like 8 different communities. They mod for 5 people. They posted 7,000 messages in the last month. Like, we're going to give them 15 subs to go spread love, right? That's how I think I would look at, like, how do we infuse that gifting community? How do we give people more subs? I
like that idea too.
Again, if the goal,
that's because you like giving money away, though.
Right? My goal is to get more people using Kick and making creators happier and having more revenue. That's like my goal. If the goal is to get more people on Stake, which sure, right, that could be a goal too, then maybe you implement something like that. But before we do the Stake component, or before we do some other component like the Amazon Prime variation, which obviously, wants people to sign up for Amazon Prime or whatever, or Battle Pass, or, whatever Mixer was doing, I think we'd go down that avenue, right? That would be kind of first step. And I think that could be really, really powerful.
It'd be huge because you have a lot of people on Stake that are already using your site. But to bring them to Kick, I feel like they would come to be able to give someone a sub. And then that gets them to remind themselves, oh, I got a free sub this month. Let me go back to Kick. Make sure I'm on there.
Yeah.
I think that's the point, though. Like, viewer retention coming back.
Yeah, but I think it's about finding a way to reward those incredible viewers, right? Because I don't think viewers have never really been given the same love and attention that like streamers do, right? Like, there are some viewers that have been like probably the reason so many channels have become big. Like those people that go and venture down into those people with one viewer and start talking in their chat and helping to build up that community, and the people who go find new channels and support them, like those people out there, they're the true fucking heroes. They're the ones,
No, I get what you're saying.
The platform. I think it's a way to kind of give back to them and recognize those people. That would be huge for live streaming. Instead of like, flashing like, wow, this creator's done an incredible job. Like, how do we find a way to also look out for the viewers? Like, I don't know, that's something I really want to figure out.
The reason I'm bringing it up is that I need you to bring the viewers to Kick. And we don't have the Xbox app like Mixer have. We don't have whatever Twitch does. I would say use Stake because that's your baby, and somehow find a way to implement Stake is the reason Kick is here, is what I'm saying. So we want to get the people that are on Stake to come to Kick every now and then so we can get more viewers on the platform. So that would be an incentive for people that go on Stake that already are going to spend money on there to come over to Kick as well and become a viewer or a streamer or whatever it is.
Hey, real quick, Jared, I get why you're going with the Stake angle, because the analogy is always, Amazon, Twitch, Meta, Facebook, Google, YouTube, and then, Stake, Kick, right? But
I'm just thinking of ways to bring more actual people to Kick.
Completely. But what I love about what Kick's got going on is that once we get our API up and those components, like, there's nothing keeping us from brokering those type of deals with other platforms that can bring people to Kick, right? Not just be reliant on Stake, right? Like,
no, I'm just saying use what you got for now.
Yeah. But brokering a deal with, like, let's say, DirecTV, right? Or brokering a deal with, Comcast signups, or brokering a deal with, other mass media companies that we find common, similar interests, but we can bring people to our ecosystem in exchange for, like, a gifted sub or what have you, So I think that does that kind of open up even more what you're...
No, of course it does.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, use what we got now. And right now we have a problem where there's not enough viewers for the platform. Or there's, like, as you say, Aiden Ross goes live, his viewers come wherever he is. Obviously, there's a lot of problems with view botting, like Neon, Fusi, all those other idiots. And it may not be them doing it, but it seems to happen to them every single time. But the problem is, like, once they're gone, all those idiots are gone, and they take their whatever audience with them, we need more influx of viewers that actually want to watch, not just scam people all day. And so that's what I was referring to. Like, if there was this incentive, which what you have now is Stake, use it. Why not? then you're talking about in the future, the API, the console app gets released, boom, 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 make some deals. That's good too. I was just talking about, I mean, use what you got.
Yeah,
I do like the viewer idea you had.
I think attracting more viewers, right? 100% get where you're coming from. Viewers are the key, right? The emphasis originally was on hey, look, we need streamers, but reality is the streamers go where the viewers are at, right? And there's no doubt about that. I think making sure that the viewer experience is unparalleled and the best out there will help to retain more viewers and bring more in. I think that there certainly is a healthy, viewership on Kick, right? I think the amount of streamers, the amount of viewers is still very healthy. But again, we need to aim to, get those pipelines spinning, right? I don't know if stake's going to be the solution, unfortunately. But, I think we've got some ideas on how that's going to look like. Ultimately, I think it's about attracting the right people over who have those right communities and then, engaging and ensuring that people, engage in other communities as well, and how we can incentivize that, how we can get people more active across that. It is a big key performance indicator, a sort of a goal of ours that we need to continue to work on. But yeah, I again, obviously that is the most important aspect of live streaming, is supplying the platform that is healthy enough to ensure that, hey, look, if you make a move here, that you're going to have that viewership. So I think it's a tough problem to solve, but we've got some good plans on how to do that, and I think it really does begin with making sure that you have the best experience, right? Like the viewers want to be on the platform that has the best experience for them, and subsequently they want to watch great content on where they can also have that great experience. So marrying those two up and then driving traffic and retaining it is kind of a core strategy of what we have in place. But, to Andrew's point as well, I think that there's other partnerships which can directly drive people from completely new places as well. And I think we need to lean into those opportunities. But, to your point as well, Jared, in the sense that you mentioned console. I'm also a big believer right now. Right now, the biggest thing for Kick is to get up to the fat point where it is 100% in line with what's out there in terms of competition, and making sure that it has a comparable product. And then it's about making those investments into bringing people over. The biggest mistake that we made with Kick is we brought a heap of people over to it before we were ready, right? We had a large influx of streamers, of viewers, but the product was not ready. It was not in a good enough place. It was competing with the likes of YouTube, Twitch, which are 10, 15, 20 years old, right? And Kick was at that time 3, 6, 9 months old, and it didn't keep up, right? So we learned that the hard way and realized that you can bring all the amazing names, you can bring all the viewers, but if you don't have a good enough product, people don't stay. Simple as that. So again, it's about getting us to that level, and then it's about opening those pipelines. But I think those pipelines can exist in many different ways. There is many ways to create a pipeline which creates traffic, right? And that's up to us to make sure that we supply that for other streamers as well. But that all is contingent on ensuring we have the best product and the best experience for people to stick around and retain people. So again, I get where you're coming from, but I think right now the focus is product, console, and everything else that comes with that.
Console app.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll give you an example of what you just said. Mixer, obviously they paid Ninja. He came over. But the exact same time that he came over, they broke the freaking Xbox app. And it was miserable. So they had all this.
What do you mean broke it? Right before. They broke it, or the influx of traffic?
No, they physically broke the app. They made it where they had on Mixer, they had this thing called FTL, which was instant. I don't know how to explain it, but instead of 3 seconds delay, it was half a second. And on Xbox, it used to work perfectly. So you go on there and it's like you're conversating like we are in Discord right now. And that was a big point of view for Mixer to succeed, is they had this that no one else did. But the minute they signed Ninja, there was some kind of update and it broke the app and it never repaired. And they were just we're just not doing a good job. But honestly, it was because the app didn't work and people couldn't, that first, their first view of Mixer was a broken app. And I think that's exactly what happened with Kick, is they got that one thing in their head, the app doesn't work, I'm not coming back.
Yeah. No, exactly.
So please get the console app to work.
In any console, in any way whatsoever, it's really hard to kind of change and shake that, right? So, I think the next kind of big push we make to obtain more viewers, to obtain more streamers, and how we go about that, and those pipelines, right? I think what you're talking about is really just customer pipelines. Really comes down to ensuring that experience isn't like the one you're mentioning there with Mixer, and isn't like, hey, look, you download the Kick app on a certain device and it just fucking doesn't work. We need to perfect that, right? And I think that's where our priority lies. And I think it's all about focus, right? I think focusing on those areas, understanding what needs to be done. Realistically, we kind of zoom out and you can kind of look at Kick in the live streaming space, and there's like 1,000 things you can do, right? And that's the beauty of this too. There's so many things we could be doing better, but it's about focusing on like, hold on a second, what truly matters right now, and making sure we kind of dial in on that, get that up to the right point. And then obviously with the final goal in mind of obviously increasing viewership, increasing number of streamers, increasing hours watched, and all those metrics that come with that, right? But I think it really comes down to just focusing on what matters to begin with, and I think that's what we've figured out now. Rather than trying to do 1,000 things mediocre, doing a few things really well and just sort of ticking them off as we go. And that's kind of where I
like a console app,
kind of console fucking app. Yes, Jared. Yes.
All right, here's another thing. I need you to fix and make the hosting better.
What's wrong with the hosting?
It's dog shit.
It has been hit or miss. I have witnessed that a couple times personally. Yeah, it won't catch, and when it does catch, you don't know if it caught, and then by the time it caught, you're offline. It's out.
It needs to be somehow more like UI friendly, where people want to host somebody. Right now, it's like, oh God, I got to host somebody. This shit might break. The stream might break. Kick might break. I don't know.
Wait, what do you mean by break? Sorry, just this is news to me.
Like where you host somebody and nothing happens. The viewers don't get put over there or something like that happens. It's just like on Twitch, they succeeded because they built the what do you call it? The ecosystem thrived off that. Obviously, people don't do it much anymore. I don't know why. It's just it kind of died off, but it needs to bring back because that is how you keep the small to mid tier level of your streamers like growing. If that's not there, it's just dead.
I think something that you touched on there. I think that once we get the product up to play, and we can start playing around with things like KCIP, where we can incentivize, like let's say you host out every day, right? And then you see a bump in your KCIP, right? Now I know we're getting off track in what the actual thing was, but
no, I like that. You need to do that. You need to do that today because that would help tremendously.
Gamify KCIP a little bit more to have really great behavior that helps the community thrive. But
yes,
specifically in what you're talking about hosting out, because I can see where Eddie we could probably end this stream and like hit up the devs and say, hey, is it the UI flow that you are having issues with? Is it the ease? Is it what do you want to see?
I think the biggest part is like if you host somebody, your stream does not automatically end. Oh, and I think it should.
You mean right now you have to end stream as well? Yeah.
So a lot of people they just be leaving the stream on. They don't even know. They forget.
Yeah, okay.
But so it's UI needs to be a little bit better on that. The hosts
go through. The host, I've been hosting every week for like the last fucking 2 years. I do my stake stream and host someone every single time. And then I do my second host on my Kick Talk, right? and that works. Hosting is not broken, but I get what you mean. The user experience is clanky, right? I think that's because
sometimes it does on mobile. It's not perfect.
Yeah, so mobile. Yeah, so mobile, Android and iOS is a little bit cooked right now. Yeah. Okay. Now I hear you loud and clear. That web is obviously perfect. Android, iOS, not currently 100% there, but that there will be solved very, 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 very soon. Anything mobile related, give us a little bit of time. We've been working on something now for a little over a year, which is looking really fucking slick. And any kind of issues, any problems faced on that mobile application front is sweet. And when you mention mobile, you mean application, right? Not web browser.
All of it. Just make it work. I'm happy.
Yeah.
And like what Andrew said with the KCIP, y'all should implement that as fast as you can.
I think the user experience. You're right. The user experience. I think the hosting culture on Kick sucks. Like there isn't really a hosting culture so much, right? It doesn't so much exist. It's kind of hidden away at the top there. Like you have to follow someone to host them, and I don't know. It is kind of like it is a little bit rough, like the whole way it works, right? I think there's.
I'll give you an example. Aiden Ross, Neon, Fusi, Nick Merckx, any of those XUC, any of those people have never rated someone on Kick.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. Because like if you go back in time, Ninja, for instance, on Twitch, that man rated every single day and changed every one of those people's lives. I'm not saying that they have to do it, but it was like a common thing that they did it. It wasn't
Jared,
like you have to do that.
That's a really good shot, man. You're coming in here and you're saying some facts, man, and you're absolutely correct, man. Like getting a host from Aiden Ross with 15,000 views changes a life, right?
And it keeps it going. Like, so, they raid someone and it changes someone else's life. Then they raid someone. And that's how Twitch became Twitch. I mean, that's how Mixer became Mixer too. I mean, that's how it's always been. But then you come to Kick and all these paid streamers, they got these $1 million deals. Not one of them ever has rated someone. There's never been a tweet like, yo, Aiden Ross, XUC, Nick Merckx, they rated me today. Well, here's a clip. Kick streamer. It's never happened.
Yeah. No, that's
But I will say Ninja rated Nick Merckx back in the day and changed his life. And Tim and Courage JD, all those people.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think about.
Amongst, just quick on that note though, amongst like, sort of, a lot of like, people like yourself, like the phase 1, 2, 3 partners, like people between sort of 100 to 1,000 viewers, like a lot of people are people hosting quite often or?
I would say, yeah. It's a hit or miss though. Because some people just don't want to, just like, I'm in the stream. I do it sometimes too.
I say it's 40%.
If that.
Yeah.
But like you said, if your KCIP even bumps up like $1, whatever it is, people will do it. Because they're like, whatever. I'll get an extra $1, whatever it is. I think you should implement that as fast as you can.
Yeah, I think there's also a difference between like hosting for the sake. I've seen great hosts and then there's not so great hosts, right? Like for example, if a host has context, if a host has like a lead into it, it can be really powerful. I think if you just host a channel and don't say anything, people just go to the channel and they like X out, right? Like I think the host also has to be coordinated. Like I think it's very much like how the execution of a host works. Like I know for a fact if I go like, talk someone up and tell everyone to go to that stream, they're going to engage with it and it's going to be great. But if I kind of just host a channel and set and forget and say goodbye, people are just going to X out, right? So I think it's like how we embrace that culture of actually saying, hold on, it's not just about hosting people, it's about changing people's lives and being like a good member of the community and like, maybe having like some sort of KPIs or statistics or data that almost tracks like how your audience sort of interacts with other channels and how we can promote that. I don't know. What you're saying though is facts though, man. I think what you're getting at is such an important facet of just, encouraging collaboration, right? Collaboration, whether it's through hosting, collaboration, whether it's through just, getting people gaming together, collaboration, whether in any shape or form is just massive, right? Especially when you're like talking about, those huge name streamers with thousands and thousands and thousands of viewers, changing people's lives. Like again, I know, I completely agree. It's such a great point. I think there's so much.
Well, the way I see it is, it was your money to these people. It was your money to you Kick paid all these people and they just turned the stream off. That was it. There was no it feels like they didn't want Kick to like grow. But I can tell you from an example is like, I bring up Mixer again, obviously, but Ninja rated me on Mixer. The second day he was there, it was amazing. And then the third day he was there, we ended up playing Fortnite together. So it encouraged the collaboration that obviously I wouldn't probably not have never talked to him other than maybe like a Twitter reply or something. But him rating and that culture on Mixer made my life better, personally. But I just didn't see it when all these people announced they're on Kick. They got paid all these millions of dollars, and I feel like it was for nothing other than their pockets.
Yeah, well, listen,
that's okay.
I think a lot of these couple of years of Kick has been learning, right? I think we've learned a lot, obviously, from contracting to who we work with, the partners. I think there's been incredible partners, there's been less incredible partners, and I think it comes down to the fact of whether people are like, whether they're actually truly engaged in building a community out on the platform where they believe in it, right? And again, that's fine. Some people do, some people don't. That's fine. I think, from our side, it's just about identifying those signs early on. And I think simple stuff like, wanting to see other people grow and supporting them is it's an easy thing to do. So, it's a great point. I don't believe that if you say like, hey, look, you can only come here if you're contracted to do X, Y, and Z, because I think it leads to authentic, use of that kind of mechanic. But I get where you're coming from. We just got to find a way to healthily engage that kind of cross collaboration. I think that there is so much. To be fair, there has been some people that have gone ahead. Like there's a whole bunch of streamers that come to mind that have literally made like hundreds of streamers on Kick, right? There are people out there that are collaborating with communities. There are people out there that are, helping people grow. They are helping to support them. They are giving them a, piece of their spotlight and encouraging that growth. And we've seen it happen in these communities, and it's been incredible, right? They've been great, and they continue to do so. It's just, how do we kind of get that across the whole entire gaming community? How do we get that same sort of way of working across the rest of Kick? I know. I think there's something that we can do there. I think there's ways that we can help bring the, bring the platform together to collaborate, because that's also what creates those really strong relationships as well, and then makes you feel part of a bigger community too. I definitely feel like there are people in their own little silos sometimes, but then with that said, there's also some really great, like I think there's like, OAO, the GTA RP, like that server, great example of a whole bunch of collaboration going on there, which has led to some really great community efforts and growing and cross collaboration and shared audiences. Same with like, Andrew, with like the VTubers, like there's a few sort of like groups that hang together. Yeah. Like I think there are definitely areas in which it's exceeding, right? But can it do better? Fuck yeah, it can do better. Can we do better to incentivize it as well? Hell yeah. So I think it's really about like, leaning into that whole concept. I love it. You got me thinking, Jared. I know. I like this. I think you're on something. You're onto something.
We should.
Well, Andrew's onto something with the KCIP. That definitely will help people.
Look, like I think that there's a whole menu of things that we can, like imagine your KCIP dashboard kind of revamped. So you meet the metrics and you get this new dashboard that incentivizes you to do certain things, and then your KCIP rate adjusts according to these things that you're doing that helps Kick out, right? Helps the entire community. Yeah. But something around your raids and this host concept is that I think this is something that we can add to our bounty board, right? So, I would love to take this to our social media team and say, hey, with our bounty board, our bounty system, our Kick bounty system, how can we incorporate, hosts into this, Yeah.
Yeah, but not just hosts, though, effective hosts, right? Effective hosts where people spend a good 5 minutes going around, finding the right person to host, hyping them up, saying, fuck yeah, this person's doing some really cool stuff, and actually encouraging people to check it out. That's the key too. I think there needs to be some kind of control and mechanic around what like an effective host looks like, and an effective form of collaboration, not just like, here I'm clicking 3 buttons and then like, not leading in. But I don't know. We'll work on that. I think there's some easy
wins. We got time.
Andrew mentioned is like social media, for example, like that's easy wins to like more sort of technical approaches in terms of how the platform, the user experience is laid out, to more sort of like incentive based approaches in terms of how KCIP works. There's a hell of a lot we can do on that front. That's for sure. I think there's a whole bunch of angles we can attack that from. Maybe it's just like having like a key metric that we see updated every day. It's like internally we're like 30% of streamers hosted. And we just work to bring that number up. I think, a lot of what comes out of this is you set goals, you start to track it, and then, you see that positive momentum, and we can start working on that internally. And I think that's something we need to start getting that number on and start hitting goals up and writing that up, for 2025 almost.
And a console app.
And a console app, Jared. Yes. Motherfucker.
I promise you when it comes out, it'll be a great day if it works.
If it works, what are you doubting it's going to work for?
I don't know. I'm just saying if it works perfectly and flawlessly, where people can just click on it, search a name, and let it work.
Jared, you've been beaten, man. Because I'm
hurt.
You even said it with the you were like, the Xbox app just broke. It just broke. So you say this with right a lot of experience, man.
Like a lot of people will say, oh, Microsoft paid all the money they had to Ninja. That's why it went down. And everybody I see all y'all spamming dumb shit in chat, by the way. Like Mixer died. Listen, the reason Mixer died was because the leadership failed the platform. And I feel like Eddie is not that person to fail because all he does is win. Look at him. He's looking at that. You know what I'm saying? You're in a good spot. You're very, very smart guy. I could tell just by when you add up a bunch of numbers for the weekly in your head like this. I'm like, hey, he knows what he's talking about. Mixer did not have that. They had a lot of corrupt individuals running the platform, and there's a ton of shit. And racist shit. And all this shit came out the day before they tweeted that the platform went down. And I'm sure Microsoft just said, cut it. It's done.
Well, I'm glad you highlight that, right? I think that, sometimes when I zoom out and go like, hey, look, what is the difference between Kick and like all these big competitors and where we kind of stand right now? I think the difference between Kick is like Kick is led and has people who are very, very motivated to win this space, right? And whether that takes 5 years, whether that takes more, whether that takes like whatever it takes, how much it costs, we're gonna win. And me personally, I'm an incredibly competitive person. Like
I know
the most
you are.
competitive person. I don't know. I'm pretty messed up like that, right? I can assure you, like, we ain't gonna fucking stop until we win, right? Even if it means we gotta just keep on fucking this war of attrition, right? Like, we will win one way or another. And I tell you that again, like, I gotta be careful how I phrase stuff because I don't want to come off like a fucking lunatic. But like, I swear we will win. Like, whatever it takes.
This will be on Twitter later.
We'll find a way to get that across the line. And that's the difference between us and the competitors, because you're dealing with like public companies where the founders have checked out, like the CEOs are on like this contract and like they've got boards to fucking report to and they're like, fuck my life, this is miserable.
Fucking KPIs.
Yeah, well, they got KPIs and they got like fucking leadership telling them what to do and like PR disasters, whatever, right? Like, anyway, Kick on the other hand is like,
you've had a couple of those.
Is like, we're gonna fucking win. Like, it's like I like to think we're like anyway, I think that's our biggest advantage. And I'm glad you mentioned that and you recognize it at least. But, when I kind of zoom out and go, okay, well, how are we going to win and why will we win? It's because of that. It's because we give a fuck. And in the long term, as things even out and as we get better and better and better, that will be the defining factor, I like to think. And again, that's not just me, right? I'm talking about our whole team, our leadership, the people involved, the people backing it. That's the difference, right? We want this to succeed. And that will be very, very important to what happens as we continue to go toe to toe for what will eventually be a very competitive fight.
The good thing is, all these other platforms have to answer to someone else above someone else above someone else. But if we tell you to do something, you can get it done pretty quickly. Like, for instance, on Mixer, we didn't have gifted sub bundles for the entire 4 years, ever. You had it within the first 5 days.
Yeah.
We begged for that. We say, hey, you want kicks? We're like, all right, hold on, let me go hire someone, and we'll get the kicks done.
Yeah. No. I think in terms of decision making, it makes things a lot easier, right? I think, when you're a public company, when you're Microsoft, right, you got 101 hoops you have to jump through, 101 different,
It's miserable.
Yeah. It is a very different ball game. So, I think we've got those advantages, and it's about using those advantages in our favor, right? So, that's a big part of our DNA as far as the company goes is to be agile, to move fast, but at the same time to move smart as well, make those right decisions. But yeah, no, I think that is certainly a big differentiation between, say, like, Kick and certainly what Mixer had to face and what they're up against. Yeah, when you have to get things approved on so many different levels. Can we move faster though in terms of, development, in terms of how we can get things out the door? Definitely, I think we're working on that. But, once that foundation is laid, I think, there won't be any bureaucratic or political reasons we can't get stuff out, right? Or intercompany relationship reasons, right? I think everything can be done if we want it to be done. The only thing that's holding us back is kind of that resourcing or efficiency component on some of the engineering side. And, a lot of that, as it irons out, will be, something which hopefully sets the foundation for us to move very, 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 very quickly.
Do you have plans to make the headquarters always be in Australia or more US based?
No, the headquarters will be Australia, right? That will always be the headquarters. It's where the company's based, right? And unless all the sort of executives decide, hey, look, we're going to move to fucking somewhere else, then sure, that could change. But I don't think that'll happen. The EasyGo, the parent company of Kick, is an Australian company. an Australian entity. So that won't change. But does that mean we can't have, locations outside of Australia? We do, right? We've got over 600 people, throughout, other global regions, specifically Serbia, of course, where a lot of the team's based. Can we expand that out towards, we've mentioned North Carolina, the idea of getting that up and running. We do want to expand the opportunities for us to have, recruitment pipelines and talent pipelines and to attract more people offshore. So, we definitely recognize that. But yeah, Kick is an Australian company. But is that a bad thing? No, I think it's a great thing. Australia is a great country with a lot of talented people. I think it also means that we get, we're not involved in all the bullshit. Like I think in terms of like politics, in terms of like a lot of
you're on your own little island.
Yeah, we down mind our own business. Just we're out here to make good products and give people a good streaming experience. We're not here to get caught up in the whole the whole other busy world out there. So I think there's some unique advantages to being Australian.
All right. I got nothing else for you other than the console app. But
the fucking console app. Yeah. No,
I want you to call me. I want you to call me on Discord the minute you have a beta just to show me. That's all I ask.
Yeah. You don't want a beta test? You want a beta test?
Yeah. I got every console you need. Just
all right.
I just want to see it first.
But how, just out of curiosity, right? Like if we said, hey, look, we're launching a console app, but we didn't have console like streaming, like how bad would that be?
Not bad at all. Do it.
So yeah, just to level expectations, because right now we are doing a lot of just understanding what like an MVP looks like. Again, the most important thing is reliability, usability, user experience, customer experience. That's kind of the main sort of aspect of everything we focus on now, is ensuring that really smooth, reliable, performant customer experience. But, if we say, hold on, let's just focus on making the most incredible viewer experience for people who want to watch on console, would that be okay? And then say we're going to do the same for streamers later on?
Yeah, do it as fast as you can.
Okay,
just get it out so people have the app on their console, and then they update it later.
Yeah. Do you use the mobile app much?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was watching you earlier.
Yeah.
I was typing your chat. You didn't look at my chat though.
I did see you type in the chat. I think you're talking shit though.
I said you weren't reading chat. I said, "Where's my weekly?"
Yeah. You're talking shit. Hey, that's all good though.
Well, usually that's all we're reading is people talking shit. I've seen y'all. I see y'all.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the chat's actually been really, really good today. I think today there's actually been some really good, comments, and it just hasn't been people spamming CX, which is awesome. Actually, I shouldn't have said that. Now it's going to happen.
Yeah, free so-and-so.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I actually put together a small channel on Telegram, and I'm like, hey guys, do you mind actually moderating my channel for the first time? And they're like, yeah, no worries. So now we've got some moderators active, which is great.
Good. But we're okay with free speech. I get the way you do it. I like the way you do it. You read whatever comes in the chat.
Yeah.
People will spam for 20 minutes and you'll finally read it.
No, well, I think what ended up happening is these Kick Talks became the outlet where people thought what they could do is they could come chill out and just spam like, I want this person unbanned, I want this person unmuted, I don't like this person did this person did that. It became like the town hall for everyone just to continuously spam every 10 seconds, like whatever they wanted to, change or work on, right? So it became like this huge sort of like chaos mess. But to be fair, the chat tonight has been great because it's going to be following loosely the conversation, which is really cool.
Good job, chat.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Unbanned JaredFPS. I've never been banned on any platform ever.
This is the subject we've been talking about. The viewers. We love you. The fucking viewers are what make this place. Yeah, thank you for being great viewers. W chat. I gotta hand out some VIP tags or something to some good chatters.
Yeah, can you make me a mod?
Fuck no, I'm making you a mod. You will mute everyone.
You're gonna.
No, I wouldn't. The only reason is that I always get the time limit to put the pray G's in chat, and I can't stand it.
Yeah.
Like right now, I have to wait 15 seconds. To talk.
Yeah, I've got my slow mode set way too high. Hey, I need to fix that up. I'm gonna make that a 5-second slow mode. There we go. Let's unleash the chat a bit more. Follower only chat at 5 hours.
Oh,
fuck, that's harsh. Let's
go
6 minutes follower only. Actually, fuck. Let's not even make it follower only. Let's see if that's okay.
Fuck it.
Oh no.
We're unleashing the chat.
Jared, nothing else, man. You got nothing else. You got nothing else that your community is going to look back on and say you totally sidestepped this. Like you got nothing
the
else.
Aiden Ross question was what everybody told me that I wasn't going to ask you.
All right.
I will say one more thing. I don't know how to implement it or how you could implement it, but I feel like dealing with gambling streams on this gambling platform, which a lot of people come over here for that reason. I feel like in some way and form, it needs to be transparent if the people are not using actual money.
I think there's a new initiative at the moment called like Tanzanite.capital. Have you seen them?
Yeah, I have seen it, but I feel like somehow on Kick it needs to be it's such a huge thing, and it needs to be on this platform to make it more reliable. Because right now there's a lot of weird, shady shit in this industry, and I can't stand it. And all these people doing these the weirdest things you could think of.
The gambling industry is been notorious for being relatively, I don't know. Yeah,
it should be transparent. Like, hey,
there's certainly a lot of deception that goes on in the gambling industry. I've seen it firsthand. I think that's a big reason where Stake sort of stepped in and became very successful in its area was kind of trying to do best by everyone. But yeah, it's a tough one to moderate, man. It's tough one to moderate. I think if we start like getting too involved in like saying, hey, look, you're bad and you're good, it becomes a conflict of interest, I think, as a platform. We've got to be very careful about, that conflict. So, but yeah, I know.
I'll leave that question more to you. Is that starting with Stake, you should lead where if you are streaming a gambling deal, they need to put in the title and like what is going on. You feel what I'm saying? And I feel like if you started that trend,
I think it's also up to people what they want to disclose, right? I think it depends on people. It's like saying, hey, look, you must, as a Nike, as a sponsored Nike athlete, you have to disclose how much you're getting paid.
Well,
I don't know. I think
that's different, though.
There is levels
different.
of privacy, right? Like I think ultimately everyone runs on the same, Yeah, I get where you're coming from, but there is levels of privacy that need to be adhered to, right?
I think it should be three things: raw, percent, fill. You see what I'm saying? I feel like you, as the leader of Stake, a lot of people would appreciate it if you led the pack where other casinos would follow it. Not necessarily making it on Kick saying, hey, you got to put this here, but like I feel like it would help the positivity of the gambling industry. And I know we're on Kick Talk, but that's a big deal. A lot of people talk about it every single day. Is the transparency of what these people are doing.
I think check out Tanzanite.capital. I'm a big supporter of what they're doing there. They're doing some really great stuff, not just in terms of streaming, but just general transparency, compliance in the industry. I think they're doing some good stuff. I reckon you should be a role model for that and sign up and look into what they're doing.
I think I did.
Stuff. You did?
I was waiting for I did sign up. I was waiting for the next part.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. I like to think that's a positive initiative. It's a positive initiative that will, look to start to put more pressure on how that looks like. And then at some point, that becomes something with stake mandates and something like that. I don't think that's a Kick job. It's not a Kick job. It never will be a Kick job. Kick can't get involved in like, this person does gambling or da-da-da-da. Like that's not our job, right? But yeah, from a stake standpoint, maybe. But I hear you loud and clear.
But you being Kick, which allows gambling, I feel like there needs to be an initiative somewhere there to promote more transparency. So it's not like, hey, guys, this is all real, but it's actually not. Like going back to that Twitter thing we talked about earlier where these people are just tweeting anything and saying it's real. I think as who you are, you need to initiate yourself because you are the leader of both platforms.
Yeah. No, I hear you loud and clear. I think there's work that can be done. I think, we haven't really focused much on that slot section, or me personally, right? I've kind of been more focused on the general platform and trying to, understand the other areas which seem to be attracting a lot more attention and kind of forget the slot section even exists sometimes, to be perfectly honest with you. But no, I hear you. We'll make all the sections better. I think it's about making the Call of Duty section better because, you don't have hackers and cheaters in there the same way the slot section, you don't want people, getting unfair advantages. I get it. Like we need to, ensure that everything is an even playing field and at least at the very minimum transparent for people to understand. I think that's an ongoing effort, but I think that also that same theory can be applied across all categories and making them more competitive. Like, how do we make all categories competitive? Think of each category as its own little genre that can have more and more and more added to it to make it better. And I think, that's kind of the overarching sort of thing you're getting at there. So, if that can be achieved quite easily with slots because of that inherent relationship or tie between stake and kick, then let's get ahead of that. I think you got some good points, Jared.
But the reason I brought that up is just because the rule changed. Y'all tweeted the other day.
Because
which was a big deal. Everybody talked about it.
Gambling sites that don't verify their kids not playing and shit, right?
Yeah. So when I saw that, I said, why not verify that the streamer is actually being transparent on what they're doing?
Yeah, so I think a lot of that comes from international. So a lot of countries are looking into how gambling's advertised, and the one thing that Kick it's constantly getting questioned about was hold on a second, there's this casino here promoting X, Y, and Z, and they don't even verify people's age, right? There was literal no protections in place. A lot of the time we have legal opinion that says, hold on, the gambling sites does X, Y, and Z. They've got their own, compliance to uphold, therefore Kick is held not liable. But then what was coming back was a certain country which we couldn't afford to be blocked in or have issues with, pretty much said, hey, look, these websites here don't even check your age. And we're okay, fuck, yeah, that's a good point. We need to make sure that only websites that are at least at bare minimum checking people's age. So again, I think that was a very small requirement to put in place. It wasn't saying, hey, look, we're asking too much. We're all we want is if you're going to have a gambling site on Kick, you got to check people's fucking ID, right? You can't let
that's
people
a good rule to have.
Make an account without checking ID. That's messed up. So anyway, I think that was a separate sort of rollout, which was more in line with adhering to sort of trust and safety requirements and the changing landscape with social media and how gambling has become inherently a part of that. So that's different. But yeah, I guess the transparency side can be rolled into it in the same sort of, the same note. I see where you're coming from.
Just making better things for everybody.
Yeah.
And the console app. No, I'm kidding.
I saw that fucking cut. I was oh, this guy's going to say that again.
I just want you to remember that I said that so many times because it's so important.
Yeah. No. We're on it. I think,
and that's for PS5, right, Jared?
Both.
Xbox is way bigger than PS5. I think market share wise, Xbox 80% or something, right?
They did a lot more things than PS5 did.
Yeah, if anything, you want Xbox way before PS5. But again, you need them both. You need them both, but Xbox is definitely way bigger, right?
Oh yeah, massive. Thankfully, to Game Pass, it blew up because you get all the games for free now for a monthly fee.
Chat reckons PS5 though. Anyway, they're both coming. No. They're both coming. But I mean, in terms of priorities, market share, viewership in general, certainly Xbox has that larger percentage of the market, right? PS5 is still better. Fuck, I've started a bad debate. I'm not saying which one's better. I'm just talking about data in terms of usage, right? Again, I'm sorry. I don't game. I typically stick to desktop, so my opinion isn't valid here. I'm sorry.
Well, that's all I got.
Well, Jared, it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on Kick Talk episode 21 and talking a little bit more. You've asked some really great questions and some actually really valuable input. I think that hosting stuff was really great. Even, bringing up the concerns around, hold on, what does this happen if the reflection of stake impacts this? I think some really cool stuff. You got me thinking. I love it when kind of leave these talks. It reminds me of my chat with Sergeant Jackson where I was kind of oh, fuck, there's a whole bunch of things here that, again, I like those chats. I like these chats. This has been really, really good, and you've asked some really proper questions, and I hope the viewers as well have managed to gain a little bit of insight. It's been really good.
Some positive message in there, and then unban.
Yeah,
thanks, Jared, man.
Hey, appreciate you guys inviting me.
Thanks for making us look good, man.
I got you. Good night, Eddie.
See you, man. All right, that was good. That was great. That was really fun.
It's a good one, man.
W Jared. Fucking, yeah, it was really, really good. Really good. Really positive Kick Talk. Great energy, great conversations, great discussions, great questions as well. Honestly, really, really good questions. I think
he's just nuanced. he's nuanced in his approach. You know, he knows what he's talking about. He's not just in here. I'm not saying that anyone else who's come on Kick Talk has, but like those, some of these questions he was asking were deep, right? Like I feel like we've been asked them before, but he went a couple layers deeper in articulating what he's meaning by things.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. That's the whole point we put these on, right? Is like, hold on, like, you know, hold our feet to the flames sort of situation in terms of like, hey, look, why isn't X being done? Why is this being, you know, neglected? I think there's so many really positive areas to kind of aim for, right? So it was, I think really, really, really interesting and really positive outcome.
Yeah, man. Good guy. We're lucky to have him in our corner, man. And again, thanks for, I know it's late over there, man. So thanks for staying up and answering all these questions, man. It's huge.
No, I love it. I think, people, people.
And Eddie, what's up? What happened to our chat, man? Like what, how does it go in these waves? Like, how is it this bipolar? You know, like last week it was the guardrails were off, and then this week everyone seems to be like,
shout out the mods. Where's my mods at? Are my mods here right now? My mods have been, we put together like a proper Telegram group. Where are my mods at? Are they here? Where are they? They're not here. Hello? Mods?
They're doing a banger job.
Read my Fifi? Where is he? No, maybe he's gone. Maybe he's done such a good job. He's just like, I'm going to fucking take a rest. Now we put together some guidelines on what to not allow. I actually kind of got all the moderators that mod for my channel. We joined a Telegram group and we're like, all right, guys, this is what we want to aim for. There we go. Suze is here.
The wagon.
There we go. Sue's been helping out. So yeah, we had a bit of backup in terms of, hold on, let's try our best to try to moderate this a bit better, because healthy chat leads to healthy outcome, healthy discussions. It's been really good, except for this fucking Peruvian spam right now. I don't know how that's getting through right now, but yeah, shout out to Peru.
Peruvians,
but
freaking Peruvians.
Hey, Peru's big. Peru's awesome. Like the Peru community fucks with Kick. It's there's a few really great streamers out there from Peru. But
dude, that's going to be another landslide.
No, it's already happened.
I mean, Brazil's kind of inching, and I see more and more people from India like knocking on our door. Like, I think once we get some of those payment options going, it's just gonna to your point, man. And overall, right? Once we get more payment options, once we get the product up to par, once we get things going that I know that you know that is happening, like Kick is just going to just fucking explode. And we're cooking as it is. I'm just really excited, man. Like everyone in Stockholm, like this past week, man, like I didn't know what to expect in the Nordic region, and it was nothing but love out there, man. There's a whole freaking population that I feel like we were sleeping on that I was absolutely shocked was out there.
Yeah, that looked epic.
So it was really nice.
By the way, esports fan. Yeah, I think it goes to show that there's. Yeah, I was surprised to hear how big and incredible that turnout was in Stockholm. Right, I think we never really realized we had such a. There is a really big European base, right? I think definitely UK base, but even that kind of European, that kind of that area, which we've got some incredible creators that I think people kind of almost, I guess maybe they just get caught up and they assume to be North American sometimes, or just kind of like bucketed in with the English crowd. But
yeah, they all stream in English, but just that Nordic region, the Baltic region, then obviously like Europe proper. You just started realizing and then the amount of people who came up to our booth asking about Kick, wanting to make the switch was great too, man. You'll see it on the download notes for Stockholm, but it was a good experience, man. We all came back home with colds, but I don't know what happened out there, man. Like everyone got sick at the tail end, but it was unbelievable, man. It was a good time. For anyone who's in chat that was out there and supported us, thanks for coming by the booth. It was great to meet so many European streamers.
Yeah. No, I think I saw the all the picture. I guess we had Kick Talk last week, right? And you guys were out there with had the whole team. Obviously the Serbian team was out there, a lot of the Australian team, and then obviously a lot of obviously Razor Red, Lian Wei. Who else? There was a heap of people out, right?
Yeah, we had we're recently with UFC, and UFC sent out Patty the Batty, man, to do a meet and greet. And then, we had our F1 Sims activations out there too. And then Shock DG did a 24/7 stream
DG.
where, man, DreamHack was good sports, man. They let him be locked in to DreamHack and, wander around DreamHack, experiencing it overnight, right? And he's over there trying to talk with the IKEA people to convince them to let him sleep on a bed there, while he's there. And the IKEA doesn't know what the hell to think of these things, So it was hilarious, man. But Shakti G came through. Vanessa Lopez, she did a bunch of DJ sets in the morning. They were so impressed with her that they asked her to do a main stage DJ set on Saturday. So yeah, man, it was successful, man. It was every DreamHack was successful in its own way. Melbourne was a homecoming for us. Dallas was just like home territory, man. There was thousands of Kick streamers, and then Atlanta was even bigger. But Stockholm just was for me, it was a nice surprise because I just didn't know how big we were in the Nordic region. So yeah, man, kudos to the Kick team for growing. And then it makes you wonder where else we're big at, right? Like, should we go to Shanghai? Should we go to Singapore? Should we like what are the Kick communities out like in places we're not even thinking of,
Yeah, no, coverage, growth in all markets, right? I think that's it, right? We've seen huge success South America, huge success throughout sort of European, sort of Turkish region, huge success in the Middle East. I think Europe is an area which we're probably sleeping on to an extent. I think Germany, France, huge streaming communities which we really need to start tapping into. But I think we'll continue to do work in those areas, and it's great to hear that it was successful. Looking forward to getting the full breakdown, the full notes, and hearing a bit more about how it all played out. But yeah. I reckon we'll call through. I was just skimming chat. I don't think there's any kind of major questions that pop out as stuff we haven't spoken about or.
No, people just vibing, man, and the Peruvians are still going. But hey, listen, next week, man, we're gonna have. Do you know who Stay Safe guy is? Stay Safe, GG.
If I saw his face, probably.
Yeah.
I'm sometimes bad with names, though. Then I see the face. I'm like, oh, okay, I know.
Yeah, this guy's been streaming for a long time. He recently came over to Kick. I think he had a small stint with like OTK, but he's gonna be on the show next week, man. And he's just solid streamer. Got a lot of good ideas, but I was actually shocked to see him streaming on Kick because this guy is like he's like a streamer's streamer. Does that make sense? Like he came up with like the Mitch Jones crew. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So stay safe.
I think I know him. Yeah.
Stay safe, GG. He's gonna be joining us next week, man.
He hasn't been live for 4 days though. Where's he gone?
Holidays.
Okay.
Holidays.
Of course. It's Thanksgiving. You guys like kind of take the whole weekend off.
Whole thing off, man. Yeah, but
shouldn't you be on leave right now, Andrew? What are you doing here?
No, man. I'm working, man. This is great, man. I wouldn't miss this for the world. I told my wife and kids, man, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, man. I'm hooked in, man.
Yeah. No, I think it comes back to kind of, what Jared was also saying about before. I think that's the difference between Kick and some of the competition. I think, all around everyone's fully locked in and really wants to win. And that's, whether that's yourself or other members of the staff or I can speak for myself as well, right? I think people are going to continue to push hard and it's, there's no such thing as giving up. It's only winning, which is great. And that means, hey, look, being a part of it, because it's fun. It's fucking fun. It's an epic opportunity. It is just an awesome opportunity. It is really great. Definitely one of them kind of once in a lifetime sort of things to be a part of this journey alongside everyone here in chat and everyone here on Kick right now. So, but yeah. Anyway, guys, I reckon that is a wrap for episode 21. Episode 22, Safe GG coming on to talk with us, which is going to be great. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. It has been really good episode. Big shout out to Jared for being an amazing guest. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks to all the moderators for keeping the chat under control. You guys are legends. Thank you for supporting Kick. Thank you for just sitting here and listening to us ramble on about the platform that we love so much. It is an absolute honor. It's all love, guys. Make sure you check out all the amazing streamers that are live right now. Show them a bit of love. Even if you go drop them one message in their chat, show them a bit of love. It makes people's days. You know, again, this comes back to that collaboration concept we're talking about. Like, if you guys can, you know, help to, you know, show equal amount of energy, or even at minimum equal amount of energy, show in my chat and a few other people's chats, it could make a few people's days. So, you know, love to see you guys check out a few more streamers here on Kick.